area. Hazardous area, do not enter. This mine is actively collapsing on top of me. Oh God. Hello? What in the hell is that? Good evening, Appalachia and all who inhabit it. When you hear the word Appalachia, you may find it synonymous with the dank, dark, and the damn spooky. But many of us who were born and raised in this region associate it with one word: coal. Ever since white settlers made this region their home, coal has been the black gold lifeblood of Appalachia. Whereas nowadays, oil is the thing that every politician is trying to get their grubby little hands on. Back in the olden days, it was coal that powered America's industrial economy. I mean, at the height of the coal boom, roughly 78% of all American families lived in a coal company controlled community. Now, at this time, many southern states use what is called convict leasing, especially where private companies paid prisons to use their incarcerated as, well, basically slave labor. History really likes to repeat itself, I guess. And these prisoners did basically any type of labor they needed, anything from farming to digging trenches and, of course, mining coal. But by 1891, normal coal miners were fed up with this, as it cut into their wages and replaced working paid men with free slave labor. Not to mention just being a huge human rights violation. So, after the Coal Creek War, which is where miners clashed with prisoners, involving a bunch of fights, shootings, and even getting the damn National Guard involved, Tennessee eventually moved away from prison leasing to ease the tensions. But the state still wanted those sweet, succulent, ill-gotten gains. So Tennessee created its own system, a state prison built around a state-run coal mine. Enter Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary in Morgan County, Tennessee. It was built in 1869 and operated until 2009. It was a notoriously horrible prison that housed some of Tennessee's absolute worst, including James Earl Ray, the man who assassinated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The prison was a particularly bad one to be sent to, and was given a nickname, the End of the Line. Brushy Mountain set up an outpost further up the mountain near the main penitentiary area, where they would load up prisoners into trucks, drive them up the mountain road, and force them to dig for coal in their own privately owned coal mines. And these folks had to do it in some absolutely horrible conditions. Many of them died from black lung, toxic gases, mine collapses, and even a couple bad incidences with the good old-fashioned kaboom stick. As of today, thankfully, Brushy Mountain is shut down and acts as a tourist attraction. Many paranormal investigators have done videos and investigations within the main prison due to its dark past and violent incarcerated. Not to mention all those folks who died while mining for the prison. There are countless videos here on the BoobTube of folks investigating the main prison. What about that outpost up in the mountains where a lot of prisoners did die in absolutely horrible fashion? That, critters, is where I'm headed to explore and investigate for paranormal activity. If you're new to the channel, unlike many investigators in the space, I focus on rural or wilderness hauntings. And of course, cryptids. Cryptids are kind of my main thing, but I do these more normal ghost hunts. So this place is right up my alley. I'm gonna hike up the mountain, check out the old mines, and search for any ghosts that may be up there at that outpost, as it is still standing to this day. That being said, let's get to it, critters. Oh my God, it's cold. For the love of Teddy Roosevelt's balls, it's cold. It is so cold. I'm glad I'm doing this today because we're about to get a huge snowstorm here in the south. Since we're here in the south, that means all these roads around here are going to be shut down. People are going to be rushing to the grocery stores for milk and eggs, acting like it's the apocalypse. Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo, choo. Yeah, it's cold. Do not block gate. No parking. Well, it's a good thing I'm not a car. It is a beautiful day. Ain't this just a perfect atmosphere for a spooky paranormal investigation video? I really would have loved to explore this place at night, but alas, it's in a state park and you can't do that. I'm not getting arrested or being given a fine just for YouTube. I don't make that much money from this yet. Ginseng digging prohibited. That right there is why I'm not here at night right now. Oh, that's such a shame. I wish it was at least like overcast, maybe a little cloudy and rainy. Check this out right here. These are white-tailed deer tracks. Pretty small one too. Probably just a small doe heading up yonder. I'm keeping a very close eye out for another type of cloven critter, boars. This particular mountain that I'm heading up right now is notorious for boar sightings. During the springtime, they'll put up signs that warn you about the boars. They'll put up boar traps. Wild boars are very numerous in Tennessee, and they're very aggressive. In my last video, I think I may have come across one. Entirely sure because I didn't lay eyes on it. In my personal experience, I'd rather come across a bear rather than a wild boar. They are very aggressive. They are very mean. And since this is a state park, I couldn't bring my shotgun or nothing. Now that being said, I do have my pig sticker. So if one does decide to attack me, a knife is more than enough to kill a boar. Now, are your ankles gonna get absolutely torn up from their tusks? Yeah, you're gonna get fucked up. Your calf is gonna end up looking like a placenta. But you're gonna survive as long as you have something to, like, you know, give it the old pokey pokey. Personally though, I'd rather just not come across one in general. Oh, that's a good crunch. Oh, that's a good crunch. For my male audience. Nice. Yeah, okay, see, this here's what I'm talking about with the hogs. This right here is a hog trap. Although it looks like something has broken out of it recently. It's yeah, this one's old. It ain't been used in a while. They are considered a pest animal, and they're one of the few animals here in Tennessee that you can hunt year round just because of how many they are. And you know, they'll come out here, they'll trample farm crops, they'll attack hikers, they'll attack pets. Real quick, you see that bit of sandstone right there, that slate? That look like a cave to you? Let me bring out the binos. Hold on a second. Yeah, it does. It does kind of look like a cave, huh? What you say, critters? Should we get up on up there? Check it out. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave the rig here in the hog pen just so I don't, you know, get slowed down or nothing. Let's go check it out. Dead Appalachia side quest. Let's see if I can do this. Oh God, hello. Oh. Oh God. Doing this one-handed, kind of hard, but hey, us Appalachians are damn billy goats, dude. We did it. Hello down there. Hello. All right. Yeah, this right here is sandstone and slate rock, which is very hard to climb up because every time you grab something, it just collapses and goes right down with you. Okay. Now, did I climb all the way up here for nothing? Is this even actually a cave? Well, I guess it could be considered a cave. It does go further back there. The problem is my rotund 230-pound self cannot fit in there. No chance. Oh, why didn't I be like a long distance runner as a kid or something? Yeah, there's no way in hell I'm getting up in there. Sorry, critters, too tight. Whew, hello. Oh yeah, that's suboptimal. Yep, just as I was saying, feral hogs active in this area. There's actually a, I can't remember if it's Georgia or the Alabama portion of Appalachia. There is a cryptid called Hogzilla. Basically, it's just a big ass slab of ham, you know? Just a big oversized boar that, for some reason, lives forever. It's very aggressive. If you'd like to see me go down there and try to hunt down the Hogzilla, let me know in the comments. I may just do it if enough people say they want it. Oh God, ah, thorns. Ah, Jesus wept. Ugh, oh God. Out of my flesh, thank you. You know, I get a lot of questions about why do I wear military clothing and use military equipment for my paranormal investigating. Because being a rural paranormal investigator is a lot different than being an urban one. I don't get to just go inside a building in a nice controlled environment. I have to be out here in the sticks, man. And all this is briars, thorns, all this kind of stuff that wants to turn you into a red zebra. You really got to wear protective clothing when you're out here. It's even worse during summer. I'm dreading the summer. We're getting close to one of the mines. You see that right there? That's man-made structure. And right here, this right here is coal-bearing shell. Shell, as you can see, are those multi-layered type of rocks. Now this is where you get coal from. And you can tell this is coal because despite the size, this is super, super light. If you've ever held coal, or if you're from Appalachia, you know this, but coal is extremely light. I mean, I could chuck this at someone's head, and I mean, it'd hurt, but there's no way this would do any serious harm. That's how light and even more so fragile and brittle coal is. See, that just broke that real easy. I mean, this is lighter than my camera that I'm holding right now. Yeah, coal can also be very sharp, so you gotta be careful. Yeah, as it's not pure coal, this is just the shell that you can derive coal from. It's not pure coal. This probably wouldn't burn the best, but this is, see that right there? That is pure coal right there. That little shiny stuff. Yeah, that's real cool. Coal really was black gold. It kind of still is today, but back in the day, coal was more important than oil. All throughout Appalachia, there are mines that you can find. And so if you're hiking out in the mountains, especially in big coal country, and you start seeing those black rocks, do some poking around. Chances are you'll come across a coal mine. Oh, check it out. We got more coal-bearing shell. And what is that? What is that? I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is slag. This is slag metal, maybe iron. That's really cool. Yeah, a big old chunk of iron slag. Oh. All right, here we have our first man-made structure, or at least what's left of it. All right, if I get under here, am I going to be turned into a pancake? I reckon we're good. Someone here recently created a fire pit and then made a fire. They gathered all this firewood here, but it looks like a chunk of the wall right here collapsed. That probably doesn't bode well for me. I should get out of here, huh? I almost didn't notice this. This is one of the mines, but there's so much overgrowth right here that I almost walked right past it. Get in here without being shredded to a pulp. I got stems in my mouth, dude. Oh, you see that right there? Thorns. I just grabbed it with all my force. Let's take a gander in here, huh? Oh my God. Hello. Well, we have stagnant water for sure. That's got to be holding who knows how many diseases. Back in there, you see. God, it's all dropping on me. This mine is actively collapsing on top of me, and I'm not even in it, so I'm not going to go in there. You can see back there, it has collapsed many times over. So, as much as I would love to get in there, I prefer my general well-being and safety more than I care about getting content for YouTube. I'll save that malarkey for the clout chasers. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting poked all to hell. You know, with all this bushwhacking I'm having to do, I'm starting to become very glad that I decided to do this during the daytime. This would have been the 8th circle of hell if I had to do this in the dark. Hello? You hear that? All right, critters, we've come across another mine. Looky right there. That used to be a building, but it's completely collapsed down. This right here is back on the road to the main outpost. This is obviously man-made, duh. And then right here, we have one of the main mines. Now, see how these are horizontal. The first time that I ever came here, these were vertical, so I brought some of my friends, and one of my friends is kind of a stick, so he was able to easily like slip through there and get in here. So I guess to circumvent that, they turned this into a horizontal gate. So my happy white ass is not going to fit in there. Yeah, I guess same thing. They don't want people going in here because these things collapse all the time. There's toxic fumes. In fact, toxic fumes is what killed a lot of the miners back in the day when they had to work these things. Oh, check it out. See right there? That's a bird's nest. Let me put you in here a little bit further. So, see back there, it goes deeper into the mine. They put another gate and door there, although it looks like someone freaking cut through it with a buzzsaw. Man, I would love to get in there. But again, your boy has a lovely wife at home, and if I somehow got myself killed doing something stupid like that, she would buy a Ouija board to summon me just so she could beat my ass. All right, fellers, rate the crunch. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Alright, critters, we have reached it. This is an old Appalachian mining prison outpost. Hazardous area. Hazardous area, do not enter. So, back in the day, 1920s, 1930s, they would drive the prisoners up here and they would make them work that mine right there. And this right here is a guard tower. They'd sit up there with a rifle, and if any of these prisoners started jawing off at them or slacking, they would call out to one of the guards, and they'd come over there and they'd beat the snot out of them. And if there was a fight that went too far, or if one of them tried to run away, the feller in that guard tower would take him out. You can imagine how oppressive it would be to be out here, being forced to mine up here in the woods, having a guard with a rifle trained on you the entire time. I couldn't imagine. The treatment of inmates has definitely gotten better. It's kind of a cakewalk to how prisons used to be. I mean, there's still a lot of improvements to be made, but for the most part, things are a lot better than this would be awful. All right, let's check out the area a little bit. Then we'll start trying to communicate with any spirits that may be lingering here. Oh man, yeah, I can smell an awful aroma wafting down this mine. So there's definitely some type of gas that you don't want to be breathing way down in there with no circulation. Let's take a look, see. Man, this new camera operates so much better in the dark. Yeah, so right here they blasted and completely collapsed the area. They didn't even bother with an extra gate. They just completely collapsed it. Which makes me wonder why they bothered with this. I guess up in there that can still collapse, but it would be really cool to actually get on in there. This is going to be one of the areas I try to communicate with a spirit. There were multiple mine collapses here in this mine. People died from dynamite accidents, gases, black lung from inhaling all the coal dust. This might be a big area for paranormal activity and for me to try to communicate with something. Check that out. Hold on. See that right there? That's a dog paw right there. That could be, I don't know if that's dog or coyote. Hikers do come up here, and I reckon one might bring their dog. Yeah, now that I take a closer look at it, that's definitely a dog paw. The toes are more splayed out. A coyote's toes would be tighter. They keep them a lot tighter because they're a lot more alert and trying to be quiet when they walk. Not to mention the heel pad. Coyote pads on the heel are a little bit tighter and more oval shaped rather than this kind of upside down heart shape that dog pads have. So yeah, this is definitely someone's dog that they just brought up here. Who the f is this? Yeah, here it's the Outpost tower. Hazardous area, do not enter. Yeah, look at that gnarly barbed wire right there. Now, the first time I've came here, this right here, this wasn't on there. This, you could enter, but see, let me show you. See how that's a little side goggling? Yeah, that thing is maybe a couple more years from completely collapsing from the outside, just imploding. So I guess they don't want someone in there when that happens and becoming a liability. Dude, they got that heavy duty sucker. We need to get the law-picking lawyer out here, dude. Let me in, let me in. What I would have loved to do is get up in here and try to communicate with any ghosts. I mean, if any prisoners did bite the bullet out here, literally, it would be around here getting shot. I don't reckon any prisoners died in the guard's tower, and I don't think any guards died in the guard tower. But that guard tower may be a focal point for a lot of the anger and anguish from some of these prisoners who have died. Ghosts and spirits don't always haunt where they died. Sometimes they'll move and focus on a focal point of like an area that they're angry towards, or where there's a lot of trauma, something like that. It's not always exactly where they died. Some houses, no one died in them, but because maybe it's the house of the person that killed them, or maybe a family member of theirs that they really love lives there, the ghost latched onto that area despite never actually expiring in that area. And that's the thing with this ghost hunting thing. There's never an exact science. We don't really know what specifically causes spirits and ghosts to latch on to different areas. It's all just conjecture and guesswork, theories. You know, there's not a whole lot of actual scientific basis for why or how these things happen, or if they happen in general. So you kind of just have to use your own common sense and your own deductions when doing this stuff. This right here could be housing. It could be made to house armaments or something of that sort. Now, what it also could be, you may ask, why would the ceiling be so low? This may just be foundation. Could be like a basement or just foundation, and the building was actually on top here. Could be that. Either way, I'm gonna get in here and try to communicate with some spirits. Over yonder, we got another foundation. Building's completely gone. This is interesting. I've read some theories that these were meant to house dynamite. They say that the low-hanging structure design of it and the way it's built or whatever would allow it, like if it ever went kablooey, that it would shoot it out towards the top or maybe out this way so that it wouldn't like pulverize whoever was near it. You know, honestly, I don't know. There's been a lot of conjecture about that I've seen online about this place. No one can really come to a definite conclusion. Hello? Big Stinky, are you in here? I've been looking for you for 3 videos. No Big Stinky. And then we have another one right here that actually has a door and is a bit taller. Maybe this is like a very depressing looking porta potty. Do I want to open this door? I'm afraid that when I open this door, something's just gonna pop out at me. All right, let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, it's an interesting little room. 2 main tools that I'm using today for this investigation is an EMF reader and a spirit box. The EMF reader picks up electromagnetism, electromagnetism, and they say that ghosts and cryptids emit electromagnetism. So if there's one in the presence of this little area, I may be able to catch it with the EMF reader. Problem with this is that A lot of things emit electromagnetism. Water can, the earth can, electronics. So you get a lot of false positives sometimes, but I still think it's going to be a valuable tool. And second is your standard issue spirit box. There's a lot of misconceptions about what a spirit box is. It's actually a pretty simple technology. A spirit box is just a handheld radio that has been modified to be able to sift through multiple different radio channels all at once. And paranormal investigators believe that what this allows is for the ghost to connect with the EMF that this is giving off and use it to pick out certain words from those radio systems as it cycles through them, be able to form words, or in general just communicate with investigator. Just like I said in my last video, kind of like how Bumblebee talks in the movie Transformers. I get a lot of comments. They're like, oh, these different devices, there's no scientific basis for it. There's no scientific basis for any of this stuff in any paranormal investigation. But that doesn't mean we can't use these things to try to get some type of stimuli or communication, even if it's something small, you know? Another thing that's going to add some difficulty to this investigation. A lot of folks say that spirits are very in tune with names. If you know the names of the particular spirit you're trying to communicate with, it makes things a hell of a lot easier. I don't know any specific name of the fellers who might have died here. I'm just going to do a broad exclamation of wanting to communicate with something. 1 second, my patch is missing. There we go, that's much better. Just turn her on. Can you see that with the sunlight going through? You kind of can. My name is Luke. I am here to communicate with anything. I'm here to communicate with the men who worked this prison back in the 1920s and the 1930s. I understand that many of you lost your lives here, that many of you were forced to do back-breaking labor in dangerous conditions. I know many of you were bad men, but that is still a bad way to go. I am inviting you and giving you permission to communicate with me through these devices and through the environment around me. If you would like to communicate with me, give me a sign. I know a lot of folks lost their lives here, and I would really, really want to communicate with you. Give me a sign that you are here and that you are able to interact with me and my equipment. Is there any spirits here with me who have died here at the Frozen Head State Park mining coal mining outpost? Are you an inmate here at Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary? Are you still stuck here because of the horrible way that you died here? Speak to me. Are you here today, stuck here at this outpost, in this mine? Are you here with me today? Do you have a name or names? It's really hard to hear because of the static, but I think it just said Kyle. Kyle, or whoever you may be, whoever died here in this horrible place, communicate with me. Say something. All right, little location change. Again, I have no idea what this building was actually used for. Maybe, just maybe, I'll get more of a response here, or maybe I'll get nothing. We'll see. My name is Luke. I'm here to politely and peacefully interact with any spirits who may have died here. Some of you may have been bad men. I'm not here to judge. I'm simply here to try to communicate with you today. Does anyone want to say hello to me today? Kyle, if you can communicate down here too. Was someone touching my EMF reader there? Touch this EMF reader one more time. There was a blip right there. Something may be communicating with me. Whoever is trying to communicate with me, what is your name? Give me your name so I know what or who to call you. Were you killed here? Working these mines by the guards or by poor conditions? And by the way, it's not this that's interacting with that. See, the spirit box is not setting off the EMF reader. Did you hear that? It low-key sounded like it said warden. Are you mad at the warden for how you were treated here at this prison? Anything here with me that wants to manifest physically for me to see? Now is your opportunity to do it. What about here, huh? Anything you want to say about this place? About the guards in the tower who kept an eye on you? Could be a few things that's happening here, because a lot of the responses, like Kyle's response on the spirit box, that tiny little knock, there may be too large amount of spirits here congregating in this area for one particular spirit to manifest itself enough to make proper strong responses. You know, it could be like a dilution effect going on here. Or there could just be no paranormal activity, and what I've been getting are just false positives. Not every response you get on a spirit box is going to mean something. It could just be picking up on a particular radio channel. It doesn't mean that a ghost chose that word all the time. That's just something you have to accept when you do paranormal investigations. You have to be comfortable with the fact that you may just get a false positive. Maybe there are spirits here. Maybe there's not. I wish I could have came here at night. I wish I could stay here longer, but the sun is going down. I've been here for a good couple of hours. I've been hiking for hours, and I have to be out of the park by sundown, and I have 2 hours to drive home. So I reckon I'm going to pack it up and call it a day. I wasn't able to get enough information to, maybe down the line I'll get permission from the park to stay here overnight and do an overnighter. But for now, our investigation, critters, is over. Let's get back to the car. Well, critters, that was certainly interesting. Again, I'm very sorry I couldn't do a nighttime investigation, but I am limited to the laws of the country. That being said, let me know what you think about what I caught and if you think this place is even haunted in the first place. Maybe one of these days I can actually explore and investigate the penitentiary. The problem is, it's a lot of money to do. So if y'all want me to do that, tell me in the comments, and if I get enough comments saying you want me to do that, maybe I will once I can make enough money to pay for such a thing. If you like this video and you like to see a hillbilly exploring the ghost towns and hollers of Appalachia, hunting for ghosts and cryptids and monsters, hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to get to my very first 100,000 subscribers. And please like and comment on this video. Doing so really pleases the algorithm, and if the algorithm is pleased, YouTube shows my video to more folks. With all that being said, y'all have a good one, critters.